The tragic death of Liam Payne, the former One Direction heartthrob whose voice defined a generation of pop music, continues to send shockwaves through the entertainment world and beyond. Last October, Payne plummeted from the third-floor balcony of his room at the luxurious CasaSur Palermo hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina, a fall that ended his life at just 31 years old. Toxicology reports later confirmed a devastating cocktail in his system: cocaine, alcohol, and an antidepressant, painting a picture of a man grappling with personal demons amid the pressures of fame. Now, in a stunning twist, Ezequiel David Pereyra, the 22-year-old hotel cleaner accused of supplying the cocaine to Payne, has come forward from his cell in Marcos Paz prison to level a pointed accusation. Pereyra insists that Payne's death was not inevitable, that it could have been prevented if the hotel staff had acted with urgency and compassion rather than negligence and self-interest. Pereyra's claims, delivered with a mix of defiance and regret, cut to the heart of a larger conversation about accountability in the shadows of celebrity. Locked away on drug possession charges, the young Argentine native describes himself not as a hardened dealer but as a reluctant participant swept up in the whirlwind of a rockstar's whims. "I'm not a dealer," he states flatly, his words carrying the weight of someone caught in circumstances far beyond his control. According to Pereyra, he was instructed by hotel management to do whatever Liam wanted, a directive that blurred the lines between hospitality and enabling. The hotel, he alleges, turned a blind eye to the obvious signs of distress because Payne's presence was a financial boon, drawing high-profile attention and reportedly tripling their usual revenue through extravagant spending and VIP treatment. The sequence of events, as recounted by Pereyra, unfolds like a nightmare in slow motion. Payne, in town for a concert with his girlfriend, had been indulging heavily, his behavior erratic as the night wore on. Earlier that evening he collapsed in the hotel lobby, a public fainting spell witnessed by staff and guests alike. This was no minor stumble, it was a cry for help, a moment where intervention could have changed everything. Yet, instead of summoning an ambulance, a standard protocol in any reputable establishment, the hotel employees opted for a more discreet and ultimately disastrous approach. They carried him to his room like a sack of potatoes, Pereyra recalls with evident frustration. Left alone in his suite, Payne's impaired state led him to the balcony, where the fatal fall occurred. By the time authorities were finally called, it was too late. The singer was gone, leaving behind a grieving family, devastated fans, and a legacy tainted by unanswered questions. Pereyra's finger-pointing at the hotel executives is sharp and unrelenting. The biggest mistake was not calling an ambulance when he passed out in the lobby, he asserts. They let him do whatever he wanted because he was making them triple the money. This accusation paints a damning portrait of an institution more concerned with profit than people, where the allure of celebrity cash overshadowed ethical responsibilities. The CasaSur Palermo, a boutique haven known for its sleek design and A-list clientele, now stands accused of fostering an environment where excess was not just tolerated but encouraged. Pereyra's narrative suggests a systemic failure. From the moment Payne checked in, the hotel was complicit, providing not just rooms and room service but a veil of indulgence that masked deeper vulnerabilities. To understand the gravity of Pereyra's words, one must contextualize Payne's final days. The former One Direction member had been open about his battles with addiction and mental health, struggles that intensified after the band's 2016 hiatus. Albums like LP1 and Teardrops showcased a maturing artist grappling with fame's double-edged sword, but offstage the pressures mounted. His relationship with influencer Kate Cassidy, whom he was visiting in Argentina, added layers of personal turmoil. Friends and collaborators have since spoken of Payne's warmth and talent, but also his isolation in the spotlight. Pereyra's account humanizes him further, not as a cautionary tale, but as a man whose cries for help were drowned out by the very systems meant to protect him. From his prison vantage point, Pereyra reflects on the what-ifs, with a clarity born of hindsight. If they'd acted differently, Liam could have been saved, he laments. They only called police after they left him alone. This delay, he argues, was not mere oversight but a calculated risk, prioritizing reputation over rescue. Legal proceedings against Pereyra continue, but his testimony could shift scrutiny toward the hotel, potentially sparking investigations into their protocols for high-risk guests. In Argentina, where celebrity tourism is big business, this case could force a reckoning, prompting stricter guidelines on substance use and emergency responses in luxury accommodations. Payne's death reverberates far beyond the courtroom. Fans worldwide mourned with vigils, tribute concerts, and social media floods of memories from his One Direction days. Hits like "What Makes You Beautiful" and "Story of My Life" that captured youthful exuberance. His solo work, blending pop with raw emotion, earned critical acclaim, but the industry whispers of a star who felt trapped. Pereyra's intervention adds a new layer, the idea that fame's enablers bear responsibility. It's a narrative echoed in stories of other fallen idols, from Amy Winehouse to Mac Miller, where systemic lapses amplified personal pain. As Pereyra awaits his day in court, his words serve as a haunting epitaph. "The hotel knew what was happening," he concludes, a simple statement loaded with implication. For Liam Payne, it's too late for salvation, but for the industry that lionized him, Pereyra's plea is a call to action. Listen, intervene, save. In the quiet aftermath, one wonders if the CasaSur Palermo's ledgers, stained by that fateful night's profits, will ever balance the scales of a life lost.